Hello, and welcome back to our walkthrough series on how to play Wario Land Shake It for the Nintendo Wii. I'll be your host, GameGuy888, and today we're going to go and do a level known as Mount Lava Lava. This one shouldn't be too tough, so you gotta make sure you get all this stuff here. You see, there's 4 missions in this level, and as usual, 3 treasures. We're going to go ahead and just get started. So, first you gotta spin around wildly as if you're going through a vortex, and now you gotta sit through a loading screen. This is very important because without sitting through a loading screen, the game will not fully load, and thus you will not be able to play it. So now the level has started proper, make sure you walk to the right, and as you get to this thing, be sure to pound the ground. Doing so will cause it to go down. This way you can jump up and grab the sack of money. Walk back to the left and shake it up here against this wall so you don't lose any of the coins. This is important because you're going to want to get as many coins as possible. You see this guy right here? He's going to spit fireballs. Make sure you don't touch them, otherwise you will be engulfed in flames and lose half of a heart. So make sure you just punch that guy. He doesn't mind, don't worry. This guy here, go ahead and ground pound him, and this guy here, make sure you pound the ground and then stare at him lovingly because he's so cute when he's flipped over, upside down with 2 stars spinning above him. Don't stay too long or a spiky guy will poke you. So make sure you go ahead and ground pound on his belly while he's flipped over. Walk to the right and we'll go to the next room. Now here, you'll see a boulder. But how do you get past this boulder, you might ask? Well, you see the bombs over there. Simply all you have to do is pound the ground. Doing so will cause the bombs to explode and the boulder will start to roll. It'll crush all of your foes along the way and eventually fall in the lava, where it will perish and die, just as any living boulder would. That fork guy there, be careful because he's going to try to skewer you because he thinks you are a tasty dinner. Thankfully, you are not. Grab this gold bag and walk to the left and then shake it while facing to the right. That way, you don't lose any of your coins into the lava because that would be a very traumatic experience which would send you into therapy for hundreds of years. Jump up here and punch a bunch of the little bandinero guys. Otherwise, you're going to have to not punch them, and that would be terrible. Now, you see here, again, there's another setup of bombs here. Simply walk against them and accidentally get exploded. Now run away from the boulder in a feeble attempt to escape it, and eventually you'll be crushed and flung over here. Walk to the right and we'll go to the next room. Now, when you're here, jump over this small ledge, and be careful when you get here. Do not jump too far up, because what you're going to want to do is stand exactly where I'm at right now and pound the ground. Doing so will cause a chain of events that were completely random and circumstantial, so, you just got lucky. Now walk over here and punch this treasure chest to get banging together rocks. First treasure of the level. Now, walk over to the right and swing on this rope. Be sure to swing on it for a very long time so you can figure out exactly when you should jump. Make sure, though, that you don't mess up, just like I did. Actually, it might be within your best interest to go ahead and try it anyway, because, doing exactly as I do is probably the best way to solve this level. You're going to get to this part here, where you're going to have to punch another guy, and it seems like you have to solve a puzzle. There are, again, bomb blocks up in the sky, and it seems as though there's something up there. Make sure you pound the ground, and then gravity will do its magic and cause the thing to come down. Then you can pound the ground again to get on top of it, just as you did previously. Now, make sure you ride the thing upward because there's actually a secret up here, so you're going to want to go up here. This guy is just like that fork guy from before, so make sure you jump on him and then land on his fork. This is very important because you don't want to make it too easy. Be sure to face to the left and shake him because he has lots of money. You just robbed a guy. You should feel terrible. Throw him against the wall, only to find out he sticks to the wall. Then just ground pound him. That'll solve the problem, and you just defeated the gold enemy. Doing so completes one of the missions in the level, so jump in the lava in celebratory fashion. Now, moving on, you're going to want to pound the ground again so you can get the thing to fall down. Simply ride it back up to the top and over to the right, and we'll move on to the next room. This room looks very hot. Do not worry, you don't have to feel any temperature, as this is a video game. So you should not have to concern yourself with extreme heat. Now this puzzle can get kinda tricky, so completely fail it and ride it up to the left, because there's actually something better to do up here. Now, there are bomb blocks here, and you're gonna have to jump on them. Now remember, bombs explode, so you don't want to stand on them for too very long. What you're going to want to do is make sure you can make successive jumps up here. If you fail this, you're going to have to try the level again, so make sure you don't fail this. Watch out for Spiky Guy up here. He's ambling around as if he owns the place, so punch him in the gut with your butt. Now, jump up here on top of these bomb blocks, punch these blocks, and make it over here to the second treasure of the level, the combustible top. After getting that, fall down on top of a Bandonero and hit this switch to make the thing fall down. Pound the ground once again and ride him to victory, after jumping into the lava by pure accident. Now, moving on to the right, you'll end up in a second room, which isn't really the second room, it's actually probably like the fifth or the fourth. I actually lost count, but that's not important. So, jump across these platforms over the lava, miss that guy, but instead push him in the lava, and then proceed to jump over even more platforms as lava fish start popping out of the lava. Because that makes sense. Lava fish are actually a breed of animal that live in the lava. It's scientific fact. Hit the checkpoint, and we're going to be moving on to the escape sequence of the level. Make sure you're really fast at shaking that thing, otherwise you're probably not going to make it in time. Ground pound down here as fast as you can, because you're going to need as much time as possible to accidentally release the boulder. Doing this will actually make it so that it's impossible to get certain missions, such as getting the money mission. But you get to go into this dasherator. It's pretty great. Once you're here, run up the hill and then get down into this next dasherator. You'll run through the wall and move on to the next room. In the next room, be sure to jump here, as it's very important that you jump there. It actually serves no purpose, but it's very important that you jump there. Run into this cannon and immediately proceed to go inside of it. Remember, you can turn the cannon with the Wii mode by tilting it left and right, but you actually don't need to do that here, so don't even bother. Shoot yourself straight up, and you'll be back in familiar territory again. All you have to do is run to the left, and eventually you'll punch a guy. Once you've continued to punch guys, you can keep running to the left until you end up at the end of the stage. First, be sure to stop, pound the ground, and say hello to Spiky Guy one last time, because he misses you, and it's very important that you do this. Next, make sure you jump on top of a guy for no reason and get burnt. This is very important, because without failure, you're too perfect, and perfect is not allowed. Run to the end of the stage and you've finally cleared it. Now spin circly outside of the portal and you finally go to the stage select screen, which is actually the stage clear screen. I've said such a very wrong thing and I'm very sorry. Now you may have noticed that I missed a treasure and 3 missions, but that's okay. We're going to go back into the level and get them. I'm going to cut ahead to show you exactly where they are. Don't look at that next level, it's a spoiler. Now, I'm meeting you back at the checkpoint because I screwed up royally by ground pounding initially, so make sure, this time, you don't listen to a word I say and instead just fall normally. Doing so will give you a better opportunity to make it past this boulder. Simply pound the ground right here, and then run for your life as the boulder tries to murder you in the face. But do fail, because you don't want to get it too perfectly, now do you? If you've screwed up, feel free to go back to the retry button, as this will allow you to restart from the checkpoint of the stage. But first you're going to have to sit through a loading screen. Try not to slit your wrist as though this is really annoying. Please do not. We do not condone such actions. Now, once the game has fully loaded, go ahead and try to shake this cage thing again. Make sure you screw up your words, because that's very important. Now, in order to do this, you're going to need to try to have some finesse. Make sure you go over here to the far left, as that will cause the boulder to not fall so fast, or something like that. I'm just making things up, to be perfectly honest with you. Now that you've evaded the boulder, you can climb up this ladder. Doing so will allow you to go into upper areas where you'll find the third and final treasure, the Fantabulous Fan. After you've found the Fantabulous Fan, simply jump into the dasherator and run for your life, as the end of the world may be upon you. It's really hard to tell. However, you may have noticed that I missed out on a thing. Remember when I told you to jump? You were not supposed to jump. Simply retry the stage and try again. Now, I've saved you the trouble of watching me fail like 5 or 6 more times. So, instead we're going to cut to the chase where I ground pound right here, only to find that there's a gigantic boulder that's going to try to destroy me. Make sure you do not let this giant boulder destroy me, because that would make me very sad. Doing so is probably against the law or something. Now you might have noticed that I pressed the plus button instead of the minus button, but also, I actually needed to get that second diamond, and because I didn't quite do it, even though I failed to not destroy all the bombs, and also failed to use proper English, we have to restart the level yet again. Isn't it great? I bet you love restarting this level over and over again, just because you love this loading screen so much. I really think you do. Now, since you have seen exactly what I just did, you should also note that I completely skipped showing you where the rest of the big money is, because I am too lazy to actually edit that in. You'll just have to find it all by yourself. Don't worry, it's not too terribly hard, as I was able to find it super easily. Now, blast yourself back up here, and hopefully you also beat the time mission at the same time. If you didn't, well, I guess you're going to have to try again, and that's very unfortunate. But do not worry, life goes on. This is only a video game, after all. After you've finished watching the stage clear screen, finish staging the clear, you can simply press the 2 button to continue on. You've also unlocked the stage's background music, which you're probably never going to listen to because you keep forgetting that the music menu is actually there. The game will save, take you to yet another loading screen of awesomeness, and back to the stage select screen. That, my friends, is how you beat Mount Lava Lava. Join me next time as we move on to finishing Savannah Valley.